The importance of education. Education is one of the most important things that a person needs, because it meets all the basic needs that seek behind. Education is a lighthouse that guides people to the right path they will take in this life. In addition, education is the cause of appearance, progress and elevation, not only at the individual level but also at the level of states. The state that maintains its educational system is the state that excels in all fields at all levels, whether social, cultural, economic or military, and in all other fields. That is why education is essential for any nation that pursues the well-being and growth of its people. Education has been and continues to be the first incubator of creativity and many other things. However, the education polish creativity at the person. For example, the beauty of music increases if the player is educated to the science of music. And the ability of those who work in the repair of cars if he studies mechanical engineering, and so on. When talent or skill meets science, creativity gets and develops. Hence, every talented person has to polish his talent with science as much as possible, because science is the secret of success, which is its essence and its path as well. Characteristics of the learner. No person can be a scholar of a particular matter if he does not have the qualities that qualify him to acquire this science. One of the most important qualities that all those who intend to learn must possess: patience, perseverance and seriousness in seeking knowledge. Patience and perseverance are the two ways for man to has a useful knowledge useful for him and for people around him. Seeking knowledge may be difficult in many times, making many people turn away from it because of the distress it causes them, but if they know how much benefit they will learn from it, they would not do this. Education is not only for material purposes, and even if today's economy is based on knowledge, there are other goals for science to be aware of. Science develops the brain, and gives the human abilities he did not have, such as logical thinking, for example, which should be acquired by students of engineering and scientific disciplines. As well as the self-improvement that can be acquired by students of the humanities and in particular students of religious sciences. Hence, it is clear that the effects of science on man are more than to be counted. Therefore, everyone should strive for science. Education is the second most important aspect of society. Because it is the only way to move from one generation to another and better. Without education, our youth will not be able to build societies and nations. When children are educated, they learn values, aspirations and dreams. In order to help them in the challenge and development to reach the best and provide useful works that benefit their community and benefit themselves first. That is why education is important, not cultural only, but to help build a better society than before. Education is the cornerstone we set for the beginning of building a better society with soundness and principles, which has great ambitions and dreams and aspirations to achieve them. No matter how hard they face, they always find the experience that helps them overcome this without making mistakes. Therefore, education is very important to maintain the progress of societies and keep them from diseases and strife that may lead to their destruction. Education must be a way to give children and adults the opportunity to participate actively in the transformation of the communities in which they live. Learning must also take into account the values, attitudes and behaviors that enable people to learn to live together in a world characterized by justice and pluralism. Many developing countries have not developed and overcome the problems of poverty and disease, but only by education and the establishment of new generations that keep pace with the progress of modern technology to apply to their country to help it to progress properly. Past and present education are quite different from negative ones trying to show that education in the past has been better. This is not true. Modern education has developed on the modern technology that surrounds it from every side, whether at home or work, even in poor societies. It will make education more modern and develop and enrich the society of old education. What may be different is ethics and principles, which have changed little, but this is normal when we are preoccupied with technology. It will be the treatment that will eliminate this phenomenon by spreading it in programs that raise awareness on television in a way that helps to improve morals. Today's education has become very important because we rely on it all day, whether in the use of technology or work, and in any job requires you to increase the rate of your learning and development to get career advancement and achieve goals that help the success of your work or your community. So education is very important for men and women in building the society. Education is the key to freedom that everyone aspires to. When we get the right education, we will know our rights and what are the rights of others, which makes us good for ourselves and others and society, whether from ethics or diligence, and excel in work or other many things in education we get and increase our culture and improve of which. Therefore, education is very important to build a cultured person who has the principles of knowledge of his rights and duties, which keeps the society from all strife and conflicts. Many writers and intellectuals talked about the importance of education, all of whom describe education as the nerve of any society that dreams of development and overcoming poverty and difficulties. Any society that wants equality and the right freedom must take care of education. Literary writers describe it as a passport to the future. The importance of education is that it helps you to show what you are able to achieve, and that education only makes this possible. So when we know what the goals of education and use in our lives, we will build a better society to the future quickly and successfully. In most developing countries, many boys go to education more than girls. Because of the concept that the girl is to take responsibility for home and raising children, and the man will go to work and make money, so the boy should go to education more than the girl so that she can raise children and work at home. Because of that misconception, developing countries are not progressing and ignorance continues to affect them greatly. The man did not rely on education to develop himself, and the girl is sentenced to work in her home only, leaving the responsibility for development and community building without a new generation of educated young people struggling and helping to build society. Education in Yemen continues to progress well and continuously. Despite internal conflicts, we see that new generations are now getting more education than their parents and grandparents. Education in Yemen in the past years was dependent on expatriate teachers who emigrated from their country to work in Yemen, and hence the beginning of the spread of education. Now there are generations of Yemeni teachers who continue to educate their children, so that education is in progress and will help build society in the near future. Education in Saudi Arabia in 2019 is considered to be the most advanced and modern. In order to accept the involvement of women in many businesses and allow her practices that were in the past are suitable for men only. The success of education occurs only when the new generations come out to apply it to the society and modernize and develop their society. Only the nations rise up, and this is what Saudi Arabia is doing now, by involving its children in all the activities that help it develop without relying only on its natural resources. So in the coming years, Saudi Arabia will progress significantly and achieve success.